Very good afternoon and thank you. Let me at the outset thanks CIO Singh for inviting me to deliver the keynote. At the same time, let me also greet all the other panelists who are there in this particular panel discussion, as well as all the participants who are listening to this very no kind of a path-breaking event today we have gathered for. Now, coming back to the role of CIO in the emerging era, in the time of when there are many disruptions happening, including the one which we have witnessed during the COVID-19. To my mind, there is a no kind of a major role, rather there is a very critical role now CIOs are playing across the industry, whether it is a public sector, whether it is a private sector, any government bodies, ministries. No, we are witnessing that CIOs are no more a technology custodian, but CIOs are on the decision making, no, in the middle and core of the business. The other thing comes to my mind is when we speak about the role of CIO, the role of technology leader per se. And as I said, across the government domain, the first and foremost thing which I experience or what we have experienced over the years, during my days in the government sector, in the ministries, and even before that, during the private sectors at large. The first and foremost thing comes to my mind is now CIOs are playing four five major roles and which every one of us have to see, saying that we aligned the leadership role, technology leader roles into these four five areas in the organization. As I said, it doesn't matter whether it is a public sector or in a private organization or in any of the other no organizations. The first thing is, as I said, how do a CIO looks into the cultural shifts within the organization. And when I say cultural shifts, no, as I was giving an example of, let's say, the COVID era, we personally felt that we had to completely realign and completely relook our digital strategy while we are dealing with the COVID-19 situations. Whether it comes to in terms of working from home, whether it comes to in terms of looking into the regulation, policy, and other compliances, whether in terms of when it comes to dealing with the security and sensitivity of the data, information to the employees at large. So the complete shifts in the organization, especially that we call cultural shifts in the organization now, CIOs are playing a very big role, and no, they will continue to play this role in the coming era. The second very important, which comes to my mind is, now COIs are no more a kind of, as I said, a support function or a technology enabler, but at the same time, they are now playing a role, kind of a delivering the revenue generating experience for the organizations in terms of serving the customer, in terms of winning their mindset, and very important in terms of retaining the customers for the growth of the organization, for their future opportunities, which is again CIOs are playing a very big role on that. The third area, no, again, we find which is very important to look when a CIO or CTO or this kind of a senior management from the IT side working in any organization. No, I always say that these are no kind of a five W's. No, one has to define very well, and CIO has to take a lead role while defining these five W's. And these five W's are nothing but the first W is how do you strategize your workforce? How do you plan your workforce? How do you building your capacity? How do you plan your change management So the workforce, how do you orient your workforce? How do you strategize your workforce when it comes to, especially, as I said, this kind of a sudden pandemic, or this kind of a sudden shift into the digital era, completely switching from physical to digital, completely switching from a hybrid way of working, whether it is physical plus digital in a combo fashion. So CIO has to play a very big role on that. The second W is nothing but we must know how do we measure our workload. Many a time we find that defining the workload is a tough task. No, and when I say workload, do I really understand what is my fiduciary workload? Do I really understand what is my critical workload and what is my non-critical workload? And accordingly, probably I have to strategize the overall strategy of the organization in terms of management at large, and at the same time towards the beneficiaries. And while defining the workload part of it, the security plays a major role, very important role. Unless we understand our data points well, unless we understand our workload well, it's very difficult to defining the security framework across the organization, whether in terms of stakeholders, whether in terms of your own employees, whether in terms of beneficiaries, this is very difficult. So that's the second W. The third W is, we always say, the application, the workflow. Typically, I say workflow. So what kind of application you have? No, again, I give an example of, let's say, the pandemic era, the enterprise applications we had, the kind of on-premises data centers we were accessing, and suddenly when you have to look into a hybrid kind of a model, let's say work from home, some workload shifting into the cloud, is that your application is aligned to it, and is that your infrastructure is aligned to it? So the application is very important, and whether the application is gelling in with your infrastructure, with your workforce, with your strategy, with your business, while shifting towards this kind of a cultural shift. That is the third W. The fourth W is, I always say that, the workplace, workplace is very important. No, and again, this kind of a disruption, we witness that no, the on-premises kind of a load has completely switched over to WFS kind of a load. And while we are aligning that, there are 3 4 areas I find where we're creating kind of a deep down or deep dive look, especially in terms of regulation, in terms of policy compliances, in terms of legal compliances, and at the same time assuring that both the employees and the stakeholder along with the beneficiaries is not taken care of. And the last W, but not the least, is no, I always say that is the web. I mean, how do you deal with your content and context? Is that your content and context, which you probably have defined on a traditional way, while you have suddenly shifting into a kind of a overall digital way, or I'll say moving from a physical, or let's say combo fashion, to a physical plus digital way. That shift, is that your content and context is placed suitably for everyone to harness and everyone to kind of a leverage. So that was the last W. So these are the three area. The another one important area, the CIOs, I personally feel we must look into, saying that while we are dealing with these 5 Ws, is that the 4S is taken care. And these 4S are nothing but is that your speed, scale, security, and the last stage is sustainability is taken care. And we all understand about speed, scale, and security, but the last part, the sustainability part, becomes a major concern. And especially I find in the government department, when it comes to sustainability over a long period with the same kind of a service qualities, same kind of a service assurance, sustainability becomes a big question mark. And there probably we as CIO, we as technology leader, we must innovate. We must innovate new business model. We must innovate new opportunities, and we also must take larger part of private participation while innovating this kind of a new business model and no new opportunity. The three four more areas I would definitely like to touch upon, saying that as I rightly said, the CIO is no more a technology kind of a enabler. He is no more a back-end guy, but they should play a leadership role in every decision making of the organization, whether it is a government or private, doesn't matter. And the, the ROI, the return of investment, especially when we are leveraging technology into every facets of life, every business per se, every era of the entire ecosystem, which I typically say when it comes to a stakeholder ecosystem, beneficiary ecosystem, your own ecosystem at large. The CIO's role is enormous there. I feel. The second one important area I would like to express here is the more and more technology is driving the fourth industrial evolution. The study says that no, especially the emerging technology. The survey says, and various kind of a report says that no, almost 64% of our CEOs they feel that their business will be disrupted by the emerging technology, whether it is AI, whether it is cloud, whether it is big data, whether it is RPA. And if that is the case, if 64% of your business is going to be disrupted by these emerging technologies, I personally feel that again CIO will have a very major role to play. But the another survey which really kind of a alert us, saying that almost 66% of companies feel that no the top leaders are not ready how to align their business, how to align their workforce, how to align their digital strategy when it comes to disrupting the business by these upcoming emerging technology which we are already into. So there has to be a balance to be created between a technology roadmap, between policy and processes, between the stakeholder ecosystem, between the beneficiary and the service seekers. And there I again really find that the new business model which now are evolving between a service provider and service seeker, between government and industry, between a supplier and consumer. We have to innovate. We have to continuously innovate in terms of no, not only the business model, but we have to also continuously realign our strategy towards these new opportunities, new businesses, and especially during the era of fourth industrial evolution, right? So that was the the last thing I wanted to express. But before I end my keynote, again, while we are progressing leap and bound, and probably government is aiming towards, let's say, $1 trillion of digital economy, two three very important area I want to express here is, one is how do we work collaboratively between government and industry? How do we innovate new business model between government and industry? And at the same time, how do we deal with the new challenges, in terms of data and information security, in terms of cyber security, and especially in terms of enabling an environment where the ecosystem is taken care of. And that is why no, I always say that now we must move out from looking a silo ways to a collaborative ways. We must move out from looking a system away to a ecosystem away. And that's where probably a collaborative environment, a hybrid environment, a digital way will help us to achieve this. So thank you once again, the CIO Sync and their entire team for inviting me to deliver the keynote address. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Mr. Simli, for that enriching discussion. We have a couple of questions from the attendees. So one of the
Yes, please.
questions from the audience was that can you help us by telling one major technology solution which the government is currently emphasizing on, which is the current focus when it comes to technology solutions? Is there one in mind?
Hello. No, thank you very much. Not one, there are many, but the most, no, I'll say the burning kind of a technology which are looking is the cloud way, and especially the hybrid cloud way. Because now we have realized within the government system, government ecosystem, saying that there is no point of creating this kind of a big elephant on premises data center, and cloud way is the best way we should move forward, where probably government at large will see that how do I migrate my non-mission critical load into the cloud first, and that's the journey when we will start a hybrid cloud way of approaching to the cloud. But the point here is, why do we as a government invest on the infrastructure, or per se any kind of a this kind of a solution which already our industry partners and service providers are there. So we only need to leverage these. We only need to strengthen our policy and regulation compliances. Rest all our we must leave it to our industry partner and join hand with them. And cloud is one of the technology, one of the opportunity, one of the platform. We'll all witness that government will be leveraging at the maximum. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Simli. We have one more question before we move on to the next session. So the question is, how would you choose the right model of cloud adoption heading into 2021? Is there any particular model which seems to be the ideal version of it, or is there anything which is deemed as a right model for cloud adoption?
Absolutely. I think, again, thank you. This is one of my favorite no area of which I generally love to speak. A cloud way of approaching government will see that, as I rightly said, to start with, it will be a hybrid way, a combo way, where we'll witness that on-premises plus cloud both will exist together. However, we need to define, and there I think there will be a CIOs will be playing a very big role, saying that how do I segregate my workload, as I was speaking on my keynote, saying that what is my mission critical workload, what is my non-mission critical workload, what is my kind of a fiduciary data, what is my configurable data, what is my public data. And if we are able to these kind of a segregation, classification, workload strategizing no well, I personally don't feel any issue migrating some of the workload into a cloud in a hybrid model, where not only we continue to retain the ownership in terms of the data and information, but also we would continue to retain the policy, compliances, regulations, and other aspects of the cloud journey. And that is the way I think we must forward. We as ministry, I as part of Passport Seva program, we are approaching in that way. And I personally find, and if you go into see our METI guidelines also, more or less it suggests in that direction. So thank you.